I've been staying over. Fucked it so long, I'm finally sober. To the edge, I've been drawing closer. Lately I'm a loner, a stoner, a loser. Yeah, I'm fucking poser, alone, life for no one. Love to act so talented, reality you've got none. I don't like to talk much, I'm honest. You just crave attention, that clown like a dog shit. Yeah, I really wanna fade away. Nothing really matters in the end when we fade away. Fade away, all that I will awake. I just wanna find a way to make you stay, to make you stay. I just wanna levitate, don't hesitate to make you wait. I just wanna fuck you till my bones and blood disintegrate. I just wanna touch you, feel your body heat right next to me. I just wanna love you, wanna fuck you, wanna levitate. Levitate, I'll levitate. No matter what like this, I just don't throw my way. I'll levitate, all damn night I'll stay awake. Spill my fucking guts and everything I've got all on the page. Lost my best friend, forgot it's over. So many moments never found their closure. A loner, lazy fucking stoner. Lately I've been thinking this was destined to be over. Yeah, fucking pussy, so sick listening to groaning. That damn time you man up to mistakes, now time you own them. I've been feeling lonesome, alone, and so homesick. Driving home, reflecting past 3 months, that shit was toxic. Yeah, I'll levitate. No matter what like this, I just don't throw my way.
All right, I think that's working. All right, yeah, sorry about that. I look over to my right and my whole audio just completely turned off, like right when I go to say what's up, everybody. So what's up? Happy to have you guys here. If you're new here, I live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, around 5 to 6 p.m. Doing a little earlier today. For those of you that don't know, I am traveling tomorrow. So might do a live stream Friday, it just depends. Going back to Florida to look at some houses. And obviously do some other stuff. But what's up? Happy Wednesday. I'm also streaming a little early. I'm going to dinner, so I made myself a really big drink, so hope we can get through that. Yo, what's up, Luke? Everything is on the brink. Forget 22. Everything's on the brink of what? I'm literally ready to spot by at the next low and get on with my life until all-time high so I can retire. I would be careful longing the next low. I would, guys, if you're a long-term investor, like you're going to DCA, you're going to hold, you're going to be like a hodler for the next couple of years, watch the stock market. Watch the stock market, watch the stock market does. Ultimately, watch the stock market. The stock market is going to tell us where the general economy is, how money's flowing, if things are bottoming, if things are picking up. Ultimately, you know, what marks really the end of recession, end of economic turmoil, is actually a stock market crash. So right now we're obviously trending down in the stock market. What I mean by crash is, I mean, in a 1 to 2 week time span, we see a 20 to 30% decrease in price. Keep an eye on that. Yeah, hopefully you guys can hear me now. I have it's taking audio now. It just wasn't at first. What am I sipping on? Oh, man, just like a Jack and Coke. Usually I drink Makers and Coke, but I had this bottle of Jack, so figured why not. So, seeing big Bitcoin transfer to Coinbase. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that and why I think there is going to be somewhat of a bounce. So if you guys follow me on Twitter or been in the Discord or you're one of my students, you know that I am thinking that we bounce here. Why? Well, one, our volume's really, really low. We're hitting support with really, really low volume. It's very, very evident on the 4 hour as well. I mean, when you have volume, although volume is starting to slightly increase here. I mean, honestly, hitting the bottom here. So ignoring these two red candles. On the way to support, we have low volume, price going down. That's usually a sign that we're going to bounce. On top of that, and you know, we'll run through this later in depth after we go through the stocks, but USDT.D is also at resistance and rejecting. So what this means is when USDT.D goes up, so when you see this massive green wave of up, that means that crypto is going down. That's actually really, really bearish for crypto. But when you start to go down, this is actually slightly bullish for crypto. So we're actually broke this area of support, and now we're retesting it as resistance. And if we reject, we'll probably do something like this, honestly. This does not change my macro perspective. I'm still very macro bearish. If you guys have been listening to me for the last couple months. But just trying to find confluence in why would we bounce, where would we bounce, does it make sense to bounce? And there's a lot of different indications that say, yes, it makes sense to bounce. I mean, you also have a lot of the indexes are at like minor support levels or trying to hold above minor support levels. The easiest one is the S&P. We bounced off this level here. We actually reclaimed it. Now we're retesting it as support. I don't put a line here because I don't really look at the index funds below the 1 week, but just an area of confluence on a really short-term bounce. Also, the NASDAQ, same thing, kind of holding this area as support. We've seen it bounce here once. We could very well see it bounce again, maybe make that lower high, and then come back down and get a nice relief bounce from there. But for now, guys, yeah, I do think a bounce is imminent. Even if it doesn't bounce, frankly, I don't care. I'm still macro bullet or bearish. I'm not trying to enter my long-term account yet. Is near a good project for like a year? Guys, I would stay away from altcoins. 9,000 Bitcoin just transferred to Coinbase. Yeah. Speaking of that, over the last like 3 days, there's been like 30,000 Bitcoin that have transferred to exchanges. And for those of you that don't know what that means that it's getting ready to be sold. So what they do is, and a lot of people don't understand this, what they'll do is, this is a perfect example. We have a downtrend, we go down, and they pop it up, and this is actually used as distribution. So what they do, again, they sits on support. They'll have derivatives mark this price all the way up, and they'll, you can tell because it's very, very low volume. If you look at the daily, well, very, very, very low volume on this pump, and they use that as a distribution tactic. And essentially, a lot of retail investors will see price moving up. They'll say, "Oh, I need to buy. We're going up. We're going to go up," and they distribute. Same thing here. I mean, this is just a bigger distribution. This whole thing, this was used as distribution. Every single move to the upside was used as distribution. And how to prove that is just look at volume. Look at the volume here, very, very low all the way up on this peak, very, very low volume again, and then even here on this peak, very, very, very low volume distribution. I have no idea why this is doing it. But anyways, that's kind of how you tell if it is a distribution schematic. Nothing other than distribution has been happening for the last probably about 9 to 10 months. Really, for the last year and a half, we've been in distribution. I mean, if you really zoom out here, this whole prop up, the second half of this move, this was all done for distribution. This is all done so the people who weren't able to sell everything over here got to sell again over here. That's all that was. You'll have people tell you that, you'll have the best traders in this space tell you that this should not have happened. And I agree with them. I didn't trade that. You shouldn't be trading that. It shouldn't have happened, but derivatives push the price up. If you made money on that, awesome. But I'm going to bet that 90% of people, probably were at a loss here, were finally in profit over here and never sold because they bought the Bitcoin's going to go to 100K bullshit and ultimately got wrecked in the end. All right, let's start with the indexes, and then we'll talk more about crypto and where Bitcoin is heading. Don't buy yet, brother. Wait for the housing market to crash. No, I think that's too late. Just wait for the stock market to crash. I'm not DCAing until I see the stock market crash again. Like whether it's sub 20, whether it's above 20, I don't care. All right, here we go. Ultimately, kind of just doing exactly what we said, tipping off on what I said on Monday. This is just a relief bounce. We had everyone and their mother saying that the stock market's oversold, the stock market, we've bottomed. Just so you guys know, most recessive moves in the stock market see about a 50% downfall. I believe we're down, 20%. So we're probably about halfway there. But if we look at the monthly, and people keep saying the stock market's oversold, look at the monthly. The monthly's nowhere near oversold. Not even close. So you got these people on Twitter, and they think they're, they'll look at a 15-minute chart and say, oh, we're oversold. Like, guys, you got to remember, higher time frames matter much more than lower time frames. And you'll have these people, and I'm sure you guys know who I'm referring to. If not, he probably blocked you because he's a terrible analyst, and he's like a woman. But he's saying that the stock market's bottomed and we're the most oversold we've ever been. Guys, we are nowhere even close. In 2008, we saw monthly RSI go all the way down to 15 points. We are currently at 45 points. And in my opinion, this is going to be way worse than 2008. Way worse. And I'm not just saying that for engagement, for views. I'm trying to be honest here. Every asset class that is visible to anybody is in a bubble. Used cars, houses, stock market, cryptocurrency, everything. Everything's in a bubble. When that bubble pops, that has catastrophic consequences. So, in my opinion, way worse than 2008. You also didn't have, we have the highest inflation. We have the lowest personal savings. We have people taking on debt like no other. We have the United States is in so much debt, it's not even funny. Ridiculous. What does distribution actually refer to? What does it use Google and search it? Go on Google and search distribution. guys, if you guys didn't know, and this isn't me trying to be an asshole. Okay, if you're gonna ask a very easy to answer question, like a 2 + 2 = 4 kind of question, just use Google. Google is the easiest way to and most efficient way to find the answer to the question you have. I have people ask me, even in like real life, someone will ask you just the dumbest question. And, no questions are necessarily stupid unless they're a stupid question that can easily be answered by, without you being lazy. And not that you're lazy, I'm just saying. If you guys want an answer to what does something mean? Just Google it. Just Google distribution. Just Google, what does delta mean? What does head and shoulders mean? Just Google it. Strong supported 11K zone IMO. Yeah, I think 13 will probably be the bottom, but we'll see. Originally, I thought 17, and stocks have barely moved. All right, but here's the S&P 500. Again, just kind of bouncing a little bit here. Ultimately, still very, very bearish. I'll pull this up one more time for people that maybe haven't seen this. Here is 2022 S&P on the 1 week. Okay. Now, here is 2008 S&P. Excuse me. Here's 2008 S&P. Let's grab this whole entire fractal and see. I mean, it looks very identical, right? I mean, obviously it's not going to be perfect, but very, very identical, which is quite amazing, in my opinion. But let's see if we can get a ghost drawing. I know it's somewhere here. Ghost feed. I don't like it. Why is it? There it is. Bars. So why did it do that? Wonder if I can drag this. Oh, it's not going to let me. Oh, it's not going to let me. But regardless, I just want you guys to just compare these two moves. Essentially, you have multiple bear market relief rallies. We've had close to 3 here. We've had, maybe 1, 2, 3, and then crash. And that really marks the bottom or close to the bottom. So if you're telling me that this is the bottom, this is that, compare the other areas where we've had high inflation, recessive tendencies, and much more. I mean, you could compare 1929 even, or even in the 70s when we had those big crashes. This is 2008. You're more than welcome to do your own research on this, but we still have a long way to go. There's usually 3 to 5 bear market relief rallies before, shit hits the fan and we ultimately crash. But do some research on your own and look into it. It's quite amazing. If the stock market is more downside to go, won't that bring? Yeah, that's why I'm waiting to. That's why I'm waiting to DCA. Ultimately. Yeah, I know I copy and paste, but it won't let me put it on this chart because it's treating it as 2 different. We can try, but I'm pretty sure it's not gonna let me. Yeah, it's not going to let me. Ridiculous. Here, we'll just grab it and which sucks, but I feel like I'm like 80 years old trying to figure out how to use a computer. But essentially, I mean, you compare these two moves and, you can make this one bigger, longer, whatever. Obviously, it's not going to be to scale. But if we just put them kind of closer together, I mean, it's pretty spot on. Should we get a nice relief rally soon? I mean, I think so. I think we're very oversold. I don't believe we're going to go down to 2,400. Ultimately, I think a 50% crash, which maybe that is. Oh, never mind. It is 2,400. So a 50% crash would make sense. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But going to keep moving on. If you guys didn't know, the VIX, every time we've bottomed, or at least every small recession, even in 2018 and in 2008, which I don't, it does go back that far. So even in 2018, the VIX usually goes above like 45 or 50 to mark the bottom of recession. Again, you're more than welcome to look into this if you'd like. It's something that I'm going to do some more analysis on and see, but unfortunately, it does not go back I don't think it goes. Oh, it does go back further. Okay, so we'll do some more historical analysis on that one. Definitely. Last but not least, the Nasdaq. Just kind of copying what I said on the S&P and Dow. I mean, ultimately, just kind of seeing these bear market relief rallies. I'm still under the impression that we'll get something like this and then head lower, but we'll just have to wait and see. I will always, even if this does happen, I will still remain macro bearish. I will remain macro bearish until the stock market crashes. Total charts. Total just kind of consolidating, either above or below this area of. We're right below resistance here, so we're kind of in this area, this 950 to 777 little range. I'm still kind of expecting some of this before heading lower. Even if we were to do something like this and head lower, would make perfect sense to me. But for now, total just kind of losing support by support, water falling down, no signs of reversal, no true signs of accumulation yet either. Accumulation usually happens over a 6 to 12 month period, and it's usually complete sideways movement. We have had zero sideways movement. So, if you're one of those people that thinks the bottom's in, we're not even close. You have to set that precedent of sideways movement for quite a while before you can even argue that there's a bottom. Total 2, not going to waste a lot of time here, kind of thinking the same thing, just bouncing between these two levels, possibly see a nice relief rally and then head lower. Total 3, same exact scenario, bouncing between two levels, ultimately believing that we will set even lower lows than are in now. DXY, I've said this multiple times. I think we just consolidate and then head higher. I'm not going to waste too much time here, but if you've been following for quite some time, we called out this double bottom. The fundamentals and the technicals are very, very bullish. Someone will tell you that this is a double top. I don't believe so. I think this moves sideways for a bit to reset the weekly RSI, and ultimately we head higher. And even still, our RSI channel right here is holding. I know this is a very bad drawing, but it's still holding. And again, I'm still very, very bullish on the DXY. Don't think we reach 8K. I mean, you'd be surprised. We could literally hit 3 to 6K, just depending on how long and how bad this gets. It's all determinant on when does our economy bottom. Okay, it's not when Bitcoin bottoms. It's not when it's none of that. It is literally when the economy bottoms. That's when you want to buy your volatile assets. And what's the best judgment of that? The stock market. USDT.D, kind of touched on this earlier. We are currently seeing a probably more consolidation. If we look at this on the weekly, we really need to consolidate here. I still believe we go to 15 to 14% before ultimately the bottom. But for now, on the 4 hour, why do I think Bitcoin's going to bounce? Well, most of that's because we had this area as support. Now it's being retested as resistance. If it goes down, Bitcoin will go up a little bit. And honestly, to even further prove that why I believe Bitcoin will go up, there was over 30,000 Bitcoin in the last 3 days that have moved to exchanges. If you are going to distribute those Bitcoin, if those Bitcoin are going to be sold, they need to pump this market. They need retail to FOMO in. They need exit liquidity. They can't just sell that because it will completely nuke the market and they won't get the desired prices they wish to sell. So ultimately, I believe that a balance is necessary. Now, am I longing right now? Like, hell no, I'm not longing. There's zero reversal signals on any time frame that I trade. Just because I believe there will be a bounce doesn't mean there has to be. And I'm not a gambler. I'm going off indicators and anything that, if I have multiple areas of confluence that tell me we're going to bounce significantly, then I'll take the trade. But for now, I don't see any. None on Bitcoin's daily and 4 hour. 180 watchers midweek. Yeah, no, now we're at 200. It's been a hell of a week this week. If you guys didn't know, crypto YouTube viewership is down 95%. And what's amazing to me, and even crypto Twitter is down like 60 to 70%. What's amazing to me is that although you're pretty much fighting against the odds, trying to grow as a a crypto YouTube channel or a crypto Twitter account, I have continued to grow substantially. And I think that's because I keep providing realistic content. I think people are tired of getting scammed. I think they're tired of listening to bullshit. And I'm never going to give you bullshit. I'm going to give you the truth. I'm not going to partner with exchanges or companies or do anything that would harm you. I'm only going to do things that benefit you. That's part of the reason I went with BitGet. I knew I could benefit you guys with the low fees. I knew I could try and get deals out for you guys. I knew it was a very safe exchange. I got a lot of pushback on that when I first joined, and that's completely understandable. But I would never put myself in a position to screw you guys, because that's not who I am, and I actually have a backbone, whereas most of these scumbags don't have anything. They have nothing. They just scam people, and they're perfectly fine with it. I am not okay with that. Possible Bitcoin at 18K soon. You guys got to stop spamming the chat, man. Gotta stop spamming the chat. Oh, and Michael Saylor has bought the last market top for like the last 13 weeks in a row or whatever that statistic is. But let's continue carrying on. Let's talk about Bitcoin dominance before we get into Bitcoin. So again, another area of confluence on why I believe that we're going to bounce. Bitcoin dominance doesn't look strong. It looks like we're going to revisit this area of support. I mean, it's been resistance here, support here, resistance here. So there is some area of confluence here. Until we really get above 44% again, I can't imagine that this is going to just take off. I think that we would maybe move sideways, maybe even make a double bottom and then head up. Honestly, it just depends. But for now, I really think this will head down, maybe make a double bottom. But on this head down, Bitcoin will go up. Why is that? Because altcoins will go up. If the market is in a bullish state, even if it's short term, altcoins will always outperform Bitcoin, which will drive dominance down. This is something, not always accurate. Sometimes dominance can go up while Bitcoin goes up, and alts may not even move. But altcoins are actually holding support pretty well. So I would imagine that, we see a drop in Bitcoin dominance, and ultimately alts get a nice bounce. Bitcoin gets a decent bounce, and that sets the stage for another distribution tactic to send us lower, or at least the bottom of the range. Most of the influencers fooled the noobs entering crypto, telling coins will moon with no charts backing mostly, or they do this shit. Which is really embarrassing. And I saw this earlier on Twitter. They'll go like this. They'll grab like a weekly chart, and they'll go like this. They'll like draw some crazy line like this, and they'll be like, why does it keep doing that? Something's wrong with my trading. Something is wrong with my trading view today. They'll do something like this, and they're like, bull market's still back on. And it's like, let me start even with like a clean chart. They'll like throw it in log or something, and they'll go like this. Like, I've seen this too many times. They'll go like this. They'll be like, bull market's back on. Like, guys, no, this doesn't tell you anything. Oh, and also they don't have volume on. They'll be like, bull market's back on. Like, we're going to 100K tomorrow. Look, they'll be like, is there no coincidence that Bitcoin has bounced here, and now it's bouncing here? Like, guys, that diagonal lines can literally be drawn anywhere. You could literally go like this. Okay, have we bottomed now? Just saying. Because, and this is a big reason why I really don't use diagonals to trade, is because you could draw a diagonal like this, and that says we broke down. You could draw one like this, which says we bottomed. You could draw one like this that says we're not even close to bottoming. So, if you're going to trade, if you're going to become a trader, I would highly advise staying away from diagonals, because diagonals are really used just to fit bias. Do I sell courses? I do have a trading course. I have over like 30 to 40 videos that I created up on Patreon that teaches you risk management, how to trade, how to build a trading system, how indicators work, how price action works. There's a ton of stuff in there. All the videos are like 60 to 90 minutes long. You can check it out. There's a Patreon link in the description, and I believe in the chat below. But yeah, we also there's a couple of us that also post analysis every day. So it's really like an active learning experience. The only problem that I have with it right now is I can't do the live sessions, because usually with my students I do live sessions like 2 or 3 times a week, whether it be teaching them something or reconnecting with them and figuring out what they need or things they're struggling with. Regardless, I can't do it because I'm traveling all summer. So I was going to open up those live sessions not next, but this September. Yeah, so I like Bitkit too. I used to use Binance, and they're if you guys didn't see the Binance US wick, let me show you this. Check this out. This is real. Okay, this wick is real. And this stopped out one of my positions at break even that was up like 25. So I was really, really pissed off. Really angry because they didn't even refund me, nothing. This is completely real. And when that happened, I was actually looking for a different exchange. I was like, well, I'm not using Binance anymore. I just got completely scammed. But yeah, if you're looking for another exchange, I got approached by Bitkit. Really like them. Got a really, really low fee structure. It's a really easy mobile app. And honestly, their security is top notch. And their team actually listens and responds. A lot of these crypto exchanges, they don't even respond to you. Bizarre. Oh, crack my neck. All right, let's move on to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin daily. Actually, Bitcoin weekly. So one thing I do want to note is volume. RSI is really oversold. So honestly, I could see some sideways movement for at least either a couple weeks and maybe something like this before we continue lower. I mean, ultimately, I'm in the bounds that 12K could be tested, especially if 17K is lost. 12K is the next support, at least on the weekly. So I'm under the impression that we are going to continue lower. I can't imagine this is the bottom. Could it be the bottom? Sure, it can absolutely be the bottom. But if it is, we're going to see something like this for at least 6 to 12 months, or something like this in here. Or if you date back and go into 2014, 2015, and look at all the sideways movement there, something like that. But for now, we need to kind of reset this indicator. Now, could we continue being sold off? I absolutely. Just like we could continue to be overbought. I think it's very, very possible that we can just go lower. There's nothing that says we have to go higher before lower. And honestly, we're not as oversold as we weren't as oversold as we were overbought before we had a small correction. So ultimately, we could just continue lower. There's not a lot of indications that say we have to go higher. Yeah, what up, Rishi? How's it going, man? How would one navigate investing at the moment? Park funds, where to wait on the sideline? Yeah, just if you're going to invest, just be patient. Or, you could start to dollar cost average now. It's entirely up to you and what your time frame is and what you believe. But for now, I would just be patient, wait. No, don't rush. Nothing's changing. Like, it's not going to change tomorrow. That's the one thing that people don't understand. In crypto, I get it. Things are volatile. Bitcoin moves, 2 to 5% a day, maybe more. But things like macro sentiment does not change in one day or 1 week. It usually takes a couple months for there to be a big swing to the upside. You guys saw it perfectly here in June and July. This took, let's even see. How many weeks did this take? This took 9 weeks, 9 to 10 weeks-ish before we changed into a bullish swing upwards. And yeah, I was longing in here, and then I sold it 49.5. But why does it keep doing that? It's so weird. Oh, that's why. But if you guys want that sentiment change, it's going to take weeks to build the base. to build that accumulation level. And yes, there are signs to long. There were plenty of signs to long here. I go over them in my trading class. I'm not going to waste everyone's time right now. But yeah, it's going to take weeks to a couple months to even form some kind of bullish structure to long. And if we do, I'm on the page that, yes, we could very easily retest 28 before going lower. I think that'd be very, very reasonable. All right, let's look at the daily. Daily, why do I think a bounce is coming? Look how low volume is. Yes, although volume's increasing, volume is very, very low. We actually retested this support with higher volume than is right now. So again, in my opinion, I think we'll get some kind of a bounce. We're actually seeing a doji here forming. I believe we have 3 hours left in the day, so that a lot can change. But again, it's very, very possible that we get a bounce. We've talked about the multiple areas of confluence for that bounce. Do you put funds in stablecoins? Half of my portfolio, actually, like a third of my portfolio is USDT that I trade with. A third is USD, and another third is TUSD, which sits and gains like an 8% APY every year. TUSD is one of the most trusted stablecoins. It's backed by FDIC insured banks. You guys should look into it. You can use ABRA to DCA. If you want to know the future, read up on this yourselves. ISO 2022 is a digital economy that will replace the legacy system. What? What are you talking about? Dude, what? Another big thing. Guys, we're not even close to the 20 moving average. We need to let this catch up. I mean, even here, when we were, I mean, again, in my honest opinion, we're like here. We need to catch up to the 20 moving average where we had lower. We're still far below it. I'd like to see maybe a test on it and then continue lower. I think that's very, very possible. But for now, we're still in a very oversold territory, and we need to, one, either range or two, have a relief bounce, which we've had a 30% relief bounce here. You ever cross-res with Wyckoff? Wyckoff accumulation or distribution falls under the same category of finding a pattern. In Wyckoff accumulation, you'll have something like this, and then you'll make like a double bottom, then head up like that. I don't know the whole pattern. All right, I don't know the whole pattern, but I would long here. I would see this double bottom and long there. Again, a good example is June, July over here. This is essentially Wyckoff accumulation. One, you have price going down, volume going down. That's bullish price action. You got all these divergences. You have a double bottom here. So I was essentially longing all throughout here. I almost got out of my orders here, almost, but I saw the low volume, so I wasn't freaking out. But yeah, no, that's essentially, you just long this double bottom, ride it up, continue riding it, and then you'd start selling when you see these areas of essentially divergence and bearish price action. But yeah, I don't really look at the patterns too in depth. I just look at the patterns that start the move to the upside. I don't like Binance, but they're giving 10% on BUSD and USDT flexible saving. Yeah, but Abra has 8% on TUSD, and there's a completely safe safety net there because they're backed by FDIC insured banks. As much as I want to say that USDT isn't going anywhere, if it does, I don't want to lose all of my money. Plus, I can't use Binance. I can only use Binance US. It's not, they don't let, you can't use Binance if you're from the United States. It's kind of crazy. Man, check the viewer count. We're at almost 300. Thank you to all the new people that are showing up. I really appreciate you having you here. If you're new here, again, I live stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday around 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm going out of town this week, so I might stream on Friday. I might stream on Monday, but Monday's my birthday, and I'm probably going to get lit. So there's good odds that probably no stream Monday, but might stream Friday. It just depends. I'm going to be in and out of a boat in the middle of the ocean. So if I'm not, basically what I'm saying is if I'm not in the middle of the ocean, I will live stream. If not, you guys know the Twitter posts will always be there. I'll always give you guys updates. Coinbase has that new 1 mil insurance for $20 a month. Yeah, but I could literally just use TUSD and not have to pay anything a month. And I get 8%. So it's like, do you want to use that or a different option? I mean, your options are everywhere. Hey, thanks you, sir. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let's zoom in. Let's look at some of these lower than daily time frames. So first things first. Not really a fan of this MACD. Not very much a fan. But however, we do have very, very low volume heading into this support. So this could very easily just come back up. MACD looking like it's about to flip isn't necessarily a sign of bearishness. I mean, the whole move is bearish, right? This whole thing is bearish. But if we're looking at this like super in depth, like this move, is this move going to break the support? Probably not, because your volume is very low. You want to see volume stacking up. Like you want to see volume increasing going into a support level. That, or you don't want to see 2 candle bounces. That's usually a sign that we're going to bounce. Even if it's just to here. Even if it's just to that level, that's still a bounce, and they can send it lower. We also know that there's over 30,000 Bitcoin sitting on spot exchanges ready to be sold. That is never a sign of bullishness. I don't care who tells you that, oh, this Bitcoin's getting moved so they can buy Ethereum, or this Bitcoin's getting moved so it can buy more Bitcoin. Like, you are being lied to. Bitcoin moves from wallets to exchanges specifically to be sold. And I want you guys to notice that it gets moved a couple days before a bounce. The bounce happens, everyone gets bullish, and then all of that Bitcoin is sold. All of it. It's been happening it's been happening on every large downward move, or at least peak before every large downward move for the last 12 months. Crazy. Yo, what up, bro? Thanks for the sub, man. Yeah, my real name isn't Roman. Sorry to let you down on that one. I'm just super into Greek mythology, and I just like made my gamer tag Roman, and that's kind of what I went by. That'd be cool if my name was Roman, but it's not. Yeah, my real name isn't Roman. Appreciate it. I don't know how to say that name because I don't know those characters, but appreciate it. I'm just going to call you M. Appreciate it. What's on my birthday present wish list? Man, I really want one of those. I want one of those like massage guns. I'll probably just buy one, but man, I really want one. Like for all those that know me, like I work out like every day for like 2.5 hours, so my back is just shot all the time. And it'd be nice to have like the massage gun. It'd be sweet. Yeah, I really only use MACD for divergence and just to make the chart look a little prettier. Other than that, guys, I really don't look at these two. I look mainly at volume and price and look for patterns and candle patterns. Other than that, and obviously support and resistance. But MACD and RSI are like the two bottom things. Like I don't even consider them. Like I don't consider them if price action looks bearish. Like if price action looks bullish, I'm not going to consider MACD. Like if it looks like this. Those guns are pretty good. What guns? Do I suggest more buys at this point? I do not suggest buying. I am macro bearish. Macro bearish. But let's look at the 4-hour, even more, I guess, confluence here. Ignore these two candles, so ignore these. We have volume going down from this candle to these two candles as price is dipping from our head and shoulders. If you were following me on Twitter or if you're in my trading class, we called this head and shoulders perfectly. Traded the shit out of it. I ended up shorting here with a lot of the students, ended up taking profits down in this area. Didn't quite get the absolute bottom. I was asleep when it happened, but still made, let's even see, we still made about 6-7%, so not bad. I went pretty heavy on that one. Did pretty well. But ultimately, guys, we've got price action looking like a bounce could happen. So I will point out that MACD also looks like it could turn up for a little bit. On another note, I believe we're still kind of below our moving averages. So we could retest these moving averages. Look at that. It falls right in line with our diagonal. We could retest these moving averages. So do something like this and just come right back down. I think that is a very possible scenario. But for now, it doesn't look like what I'm trying to say is it doesn't look like we have the strength to push through the support level. We're pretty much holding it. Now, could we just dump through? Sure, we could. That's always a possibility. But for now, I just don't see it happening. Oh, massage guns. Yeah, yeah. I was like, what are you talking about? I work out? No, I've never worked out in my life. Never. I have a massage gun. She gets home and work. Dude, my girlfriend sucks at giving massages. It's like she's got like tiny hands. She's Puerto Rican. She's got tiny hands. And I have like, I'm not like a bodybuilder, but I'm way bigger than she is. Like she's like 5'1". I'm almost 6 feet. And when she goes to massage my back, her like hands can't break up the muscles in my back. She doesn't have the hand strength or the hand size. So she's really, really bad at giving massages. It kind of sucks. Look into ISO 20. Yeah, I'm probably not going to look into that. Not going to lie, I don't really care. If it's not Bitcoin or Ethereum, I really don't care what it is. And it's not to be rude. I know what happens in a bear market. Altcoin gets ugly real quick. Really, really quick. But all right, let's look at the 1 hour. Why not? Let's look at the 1 hour. Looks like our bounce is pretty weak for now. I mean, it's hard to tell with 1 hour volume, but held this support pretty well. I'd love to see this. I'd love to see this diagonal get tested. I'd probably put a small short on it, short this, and then short the breakdown here. It just depends. For right now, there's no reversal pattern, and honestly, I do like this wick. That tells me that this move is not going to be very strong. It's most likely not going to. You need a man for that kind of massage? Yeah, but not really into that. LOL, it's regulation. Well, that's great. To advise parking funds in TUSD and wait for right times to invest. So TUSD is better than USDC. So here was what I'm going to tell you. Go research what TUSD is. Go find what exchanges. I recommend Abra. I am not affiliated with Abra, but I use Abra for my DCA. And all of my money, like half my bank account, will sit in TUSD because I get 8% a year. And again, TUSD is backed by FDIC insured banks. Just look into it. Do some research. Definitely don't just do it because I said to do it. Like, do research, make sure you're comfortable, and move from there. As a beginner, you don't just learn. You have to get in the full game and go through, and you have the experience to learn after that. I could agree with that. The only problem is we're going through something that no one has ever seen. Bitcoin has never seen an economic recession. And Bitcoin's never seen the economy in a terrible position. So ultimately, no one has any experience with what's about to happen or what could happen. Ultimately. All right. Let's look at some other stuff here. Pretty much covered everything I wanted to with Bitcoin. You guys know there's probably more confluence for a bounce right now than not. And yeah, I don't feel like we have to keep talking about that. Let's look at Ethereum. I'm actually going to remove this. So Ethereum, more or less the same, although we have not hit support yet. Very, very odd. Looks like Ethereum could drop a bit more and then bounce. or it might be late to the party. So if you see Bitcoin bounce but Ethereum does nothing and just goes down a little bit more, could be a nice opportunity to long. But again, I'd like to see something like this. Then you long that. You long on that second bottom. Mihal, I think I said that right. Nice to meet you, man. Good night. Have a nice night. To be a great trader, you can't just watch. You need to be in the game consistently. I disagree with that. I'm a swing trader, and I think I make like. I tried to day trade last week, which I completely failed at. But if you're a swing trader, you're making 10 to 30 trades a year. So I don't think you need to be watching all the time. I think if you are day trading crypto, you're looking for failure. Oh, gotcha. My bad. Fishing. We can talk about men giving men massages. I mean, you guys can talk whatever you want. It's funny. I was in Chicago last weekend, and the Gay Pride Festival was going on, or Gay Pride, whatever. And frankly, I don't care if people are gay. Like, I think that's great. I've got a couple of cousins that are gay, and I've got a couple of gay friends, and they're pretty cool, whatever. But man, I'm walking through the street, and I'm not from a big city. I'm not. I've never really lived in a big city, and I'm not kidding you. Like, me and my friends are pretty drunk. We're a couple drinks in, getting ready to go to dinner, and we're walking to the restaurant. We get to this intersection, and it gets blocked off by like 5,000 people riding bikes, and they're all coming from Gay Pride. They were all excited, and we were like, yeah, whoa, Pride, whatever. And then we noticed they were all completely naked, all of them. There was not a single person with clothes on. It was like a naked bike ride through a major city. Like, this is Chicago. There's millions of people in Chicago. And I'm thinking to myself, like after I realized what was happening, I was like, man, this is kind of messed up. Like, there's little kids walking around, and there's like legitimately full-blown naked people. Like, of all shapes and sizes, except one thing was consistent, and not necessarily shot at gay people, but I've never seen so many micropenises in my life. Very weird. And you might be asking, why were you looking? And I'm like, well, it was right in front of my face, 5 feet away. All of it. Which, celebrate your event, be prideful in what you like, but, community respect should always be there too. But it was nuts. It was literally nuts. Like, so many. And what's funny? Like, the couple of hot girls that were in the bike ride, like, had clothes on. Like, it was such like a deeming experience. Like, you had all these, you had lesbians, gays, transgender, whatever, the LGBTQ, XYZ, whatever community. And, no problem with that community. That's awesome. But, like, all of the people that were moderately attractive, like, at least, I'm into women. So all the women that were attractive had clothes on. Like, all the women that were not attractive, it was like everything was flopping around and everything. It was like, what did the balls look like? Man, I don't know. But, not going to keep carrying on about that, but wow. That really, I was like, man, I need a strong drink after that one. Very, very strong drink. But yeah, guys, ultimately, not a lot has changed in the last couple of days. We're more or less creating a range. I could sit here and talk about crypto and TA all day and chat with you guys if you want. We could sit here and I can answer some questions for sure. But TA-wise, I'm not a day trader. I do, 4-hour to 1-day time frames. I'm usually a multiple day to multiple week swing trader. I like big returns. And ultimately, nothing has changed. We're just more or less forming a range that was similar to this. Or, if you look at Bitcoin and you look back at all the ranges, we're more or less doing something like these before continuing lower. I mean, that's been the theme for the last couple months. Bitcoin isn't worth paying attention to right now until it closes the 4 hour to 19K, but shorting is risky right now. I would be careful with shorting because it looks like we're about to bounce. Have I been tested for monkeypox since the Chicago thing? No. I got monkeypox? No, I don't have monkeypox. When I was young, I loved going to gay bars with girlfriends, never had to pay for drinks. That's awesome. Bi-curious. I'd be in jail seconds if you were there. I mean, look, at the end of the day, like, you got, they're prideful for who they are. It's okay to have pride for who you are, but it's also something to say, like, hey, thousands of people being naked in the middle of daylight in a major city where there are little kids and people that don't want to see that, or whatever. It's just have some self-decency, have some respect for other people. All right, guys, I have to do this for all the new people again. I've said multiple times when I live stream, but if you didn't hear earlier, I live stream Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, around 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Today was a little bit earlier because I'm going to dinner soon and packing for my trip. We leave tomorrow. But across from that, I'd really appreciate it if you guys looked into BitGet. That's one of the exchanges that I use and I'm affiliated with. Great security, great team. They'll actually respond to you if you have input. And if you give them feedback on something, they may change something. They're a newer exchange. Best in class security, top 5 derivatives liquidity, and if you use my links, you get the lowest fees. I have used five exchanges. I used Gemini, Coinbase, Binance US, Bitrex, Coinbase Pro, and BlockFi. And out of all those exchanges, I really, really enjoyed BitGet. I mean, obviously, it's one that I use, but I'm not going to partner with something I don't like. Not sure if you can get an opinion on this, but I'm still fairly new. When I first started, I bought heaps in May at the high and didn't sell anything in November. Would it be wise to sell and rebuy? You don't have to use a VPN. It's no KYC up to 20 Bitcoin. Lukey, I'm going to be honest with you. If you've been holding a 70% crash at this point, it might be worth just holding on to. But I'm not sure what your time frame is, what kind of investor you are. I mean, how much more could we drop for you to really get in? Because if we bottom at 12K, that's 83%. So you'd only lose an extra 10% from where we are now. So is it really worth selling it and rebuying? Or could you just bite the bullet and maybe DCA with more? Because ultimately, I believe, I'm bullish on crypto. I believe this market will go up again and we will have future bull markets. But at this point, if you're at a 70% unrealized loss, you might as well just hold it and just not look at it. Yeah, man. Koala, I just got morals and I was raised on good grounds, and I'm not gonna. The whole reason why I created my social media, the whole reason why I live stream, the whole reason I do any of this is because of I was so tired of scammers. I wanted to bring light to the crypto space. I wanted to provide a place where people can discuss and not be scammed and have realistic approaches with honesty rather than bullshit. If you go on YouTube and look at any crypto video, it's always like some crazy emotional alert with Bitcoin's going to do this or Bitcoin's going to do that and Bitcoin's going to 100K and then it goes down 70%. For those of you that don't know, I have a free Discord. The link is in the description. There's it's active 24/7. Lots of tools you can learn how to trade as well. But aside from that, I just wanted to make a place where people could come and get real information and honesty rather than being fed bullshit this whole time. Can we do a group pump? Probably not. That's also it's also illegal. like very illegal. But let me check and make sure that. Let me check. All right, I got some time. If you guys have any questions about anything, I will answer them. Anything. It can be trading related, real life related, anything. Oh, you down here? You have any questions? Do you want to be on my live stream? I've got 300. Wait, what? Dude, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, I will. That was my cousin that came down. His flight got canceled for tomorrow. We were actually going to Florida at the same time, but for two different reasons. Weird. I don't mind biting the bullet. I thought DCA would be the better option. 10% wouldn't help much. Yeah. How much cash do you keep versus trading? I stated this earlier. I have a so basically because there's and guys, I don't think anything's gonna happen to Tether, but if I'm wrong, I don't want to lose my whole entire portfolio. So I have a third of my portfolio in USDT that I trade with. I have a third in cash or USD that I can move to USDT and trade with whenever I want. So that's it's just sitting there in safety of USD. And then I have a third of it sitting in TUSD, making 8% APY. So that money will not move, and that money I'll use as my DCA. Is that a Merrill Bulldog? That is a Rottweiler. I have a 150-pound Rottweiler. And he's probably not going to get up, but I can try to get him up. But yeah, no, he's huge. Let me see if I can. He's not gonna. There's no shot. He's passed out. Took the decision on my dad's truck. Not yet. I'm just waiting. Like I said, I don't really need a new car yet, and I'm just waiting for the value of stuff. Go down. Why don't I use a DeFi exchange? I want to use an exchange that I can trust, and I can trust BitGet. So that's why DeFi exchanges are sketchy. Please describe a DCA. A DCA is a dollar cost average. So essentially, think of 401k where they take, let's say you make $1,000 every paycheck, and you take 10% of it and invest it in the stock market. So every week or every 2 weeks when you get paid, if you're paid bi-weekly, 10% of your paycheck just goes in the stock market no matter what the price is. So essentially, if you zoom out and look at a week, so I would do like 1 to 2% a week. So let's say we bottom here and I start my DCA right where that smaller circle is. So you're basically buying, and you buy for 2 years or so. I think that's about 2 years in this area. And then you sell it ultimately when you try to sell at any of these peaks, anywhere where you feel comfortable. Objectively, you're trying to, make a 10 or 20x off your accumulation. A Nazi dog. I don't know about that. He's a sleepy dog. What altcoins do I think will be in the top 5 in the next 2 years? I don't really like altcoins, but Ethereum, Link, maybe Solana, maybe XLM HBAR. I don't know. If it's not Ethereum or Link, I honestly can't answer that question. Because I don't really care for altcoins. I know that 99% of them are scams. And if I'm going to be honest with you, I've traded Bitcoin for the last 5 years, and I've made a monumental amount of money. Like, you don't need 100x altcoins to make life-changing gains. I have not heard of DAG Constellation. Never heard of that. Still a fan of IOTA. I've never traded IOTA. Ever. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: is altcoins are kind of more a belief tactic. So, do you actually believe this project's going to take off? Do you actually believe this project isn't a scam? Do you actually have faith in the project and its success and the developers? Because honestly, institutions aren't buying altcoins. They're more focused on Bitcoin and Ethereum rather than alts. Crow. So I was looking at possibly putting some money into Crow. What is Crow even at? Let's see. Crow. Man, I really didn't want the Coinbase, but wow, Crow got wrecked. Actually wrecked. I want the. Man, they don't have it on. Let's see if it's better on Qcoin. Oh, there it is. Wow, Crow got wrecked, man. Not sure where that line's. Wow, I was actually going to DCA this coin here. Wow, I'm glad I didn't. Wow, this thing could actually go to 0.05. No way. And maybe I'll buy some Crow. It just depends. Do I do some coaching on trading? Yes, I have a trading class and an analytics program. You can sign up through Patreon and check it out. I would, read the full description so you can get what you want. The trading class, I am not doing any live sessions until September. However, there's over like 40 videos that are an hour to an hour and a half long that you can watch. It covers everything: risk management, how to use indicators, how to build a trading system, how to execute a trade, everything. It's everything. Crow got wrecked after they reduced the Visa card cashback. Yeah, I heard. That's why I'm kind of hesitant, but I'm still going to look into it. Still going to look into it. Crow buyer at 0. All right, guys. I just got the text. Girlfriend's on the way. We're going to dinner in like 30 minutes. So I'm going to cut it here. I really appreciate everyone coming out. It means a lot. Seeing that I'm still able to get 200 to 300 viewers and increasingly grow in this, really this time of winter, this crypto winter, because if you guys didn't know, viewership across YouTube and Twitter are down like 90% for crypto. Any crypto content. So it's really awesome that I'm still continuing to grow and get feedback and be able to chat with you guys 3 times a week. With all that said, guys, please be safe.